Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in to another episode of notanalog.com. Today I'm looking at the Sony Ericsson Xperia Arc S. Now in the past I've reviewed the Xperia Arc, and I'm going to link that up so you can actually go and watch that because these phones are extremely similar. They look the same, they feel very much the same. There is just some real performance improvements built into the phone now, and they've added some extra software features to it as well. So, you know, the 8.1 megapixel camera still exists on the back. No camera on the front still. I think that's an improvement that needs to be made. If there's anyone from Sony Ericsson watching in the development team or design team, front-facing camera should be mandatory from now on. In fact, from a year or two ago, the Arc should have had it. I did mention that in my first review, but I think now it's almost, why isn't it there? I forgave you the first time, I'm not going to forgive you the second time. So I think that needs to happen, but on the back, it's still extremely thin. I think it's 8.7 mil in the middle. It's an extremely thin device. 4.2-inch screen still exists. It's now 1.4 gigahertz processor. Before I think it was just the 1. Now the things which they're claiming is that we're looking at about 25% improvement on the previous Arc. So web browsing is expected to be 25% faster in terms of rendering. The camera apparently turns on 25% faster. Now it's hard for me to really say whether it does or it doesn't because I don't have the two side by side. But just from using it day to day, I can tell you that it does feel a lot snappier than I remember the Arc feeling. And I watched my review over again, and I sort of watched it and I compared it to how I'm using this phone, and it definitely feels faster. Obviously they've upgraded the hardware. It is going to be better, and I think they've done a great job. Now, no phone is perfect. There are still some things I want to show you. I'm going to run through the phone because you may not have even seen my first review, and if you haven't, I want you to because it will help. I'll show you the ins and outs of this phone because it's a great unit, and I just want to show you some things on it. Alright, so this is the Xperia Arc S. Not everybody has seen what it looks like before, but I'll run through it real quick on the sides and things like that. Your little micro USB charger, also used for file transfers. Your little volume rocker, I think it's very small. It's also used for your zooming in and out on video and photos, but I think that switch could be a bit longer. I think they've got the space to do it, but sometimes you accidentally push it down when you're meant to put it up, and things like that. The camera switch, I love a dedicated camera button. I just think it makes life a lot easier, and you also use that to take the photo if you want to. On the bottom, not a whole lot. You can see the microphone, you can see where the case is removed also. On this side, just the speaker adapter, 3.5mm, power button, and the micro HDMI out. It does come with the full HDMI adapter for it, so you can plug it straight into your TV for viewing. On the front, you can see a little sensor for lighting, a notification light. There's also one here as well, and your hard buttons, so no soft buttons on this like some HTC phones have moved on to. Still got the physical buttons, not a huge issue, but just something worth noting. So turn this little guy back on. Home screen, if you haven't seen Android before, come on. Much of a muchness. That I have to say, the design which Sony really uses in their UI is quite good. I love the additions they have. This is the Timescape app, which integrates Facebook, SMS, Twitter. If you install LinkedIn, and it has that on there as well. Their media players are a lot nicer than just the standard Google ones. A custom weather app. I noticed that they actually took a couple of their own custom widgets out. There was a picture widget which used to have scrolling images on the previous Xperia Arc, and I can't see that on this one. When I go into widgets, I just can't see the one that I'm after. It's not there. I'm sure it existed. It's not picture frame either. But anyway, I might find it later. I find that a little weird. So scooping down, you've got your notifications bar. But when I come in here, I start to notice the differences. So 3D album and 3D camera did not exist on the original Arc. Now, what that means is you can actually take full 3D images. I did try taking one, and it wasn't the best. So I took one here, and you can see where I actually missed part of the image, but this obviously doesn't look 3D because it's not connected to a 3D TV, but apparently when you use the HDMI out on a 3D TV, you get the 3D effect. So, that'd be something which is interesting to check out. I'm not sure how many people are crazy for the 3D, but if you are, you certainly can do it from the 3D camera part here. App Extra is a section which, typical Sony Ericsson apps added in. The browser is as you'd expect. It's quite good. Now they have said it's faster. I've got it on Wi-Fi here. It could be faster. I mean, I don't think it's slow. I think a lot of the time I'm just always waiting on my internet connection. It's not usually the phone that I'm, upset by, but, there's no lag in actually using the web. So I'm going to say that the web browsing is good. I don't think that there's any real issues there. When you go into calculator, these are standard sort of things. Chrome to phone I've added on. If you do own an Android phone or you're looking to get one, make sure you install that app. Basically, actually I've got a video about this already. I'll link that up so you can check that out. Connected devices for DLNA sort of sharing. So a recorded video on here, watch it on your PlayStation or on your Sony TV. Sounds like an ad. It's not. The Facebook, new Facebook app, downloaded it today, pretty excited. A whole lot nicer to look at, a whole lot going on here as well, so I think that's awesome. Not a Sony Xperia thing, but worth noting as well. The gallery on the Sony Ericsson devices is so much better than HTC or anyone else who makes them. Here's why. Here's the one thing which I love about it. Well, what's in this album? Let me see. That's cool. That's just really, really cool. So I've also got my Picasso albums, came in automatically. I signed into Facebook. My Facebook albums are here. Sony Ericsson do a good job when it comes to the gallery. I love it. Here's a photo that I have taken. One of the issues that I do have with this phone is the rendering of the image. So right now, it took too long then for that image to come up. The image quality is beautiful though. I mean, the screen on this is great and the camera on this is phenomenal as well. When I swipe across, it's not too bad. Sometimes it just takes a while to render, and I don't want that. I just want the image to be straight up and sharp. I've taken some video. This is from a concert I went to on the weekend. So you can sort of see what I mean with the rendering. It's just, to see that, it just took too long. I don't like that. It should be snappier than that. But when I go through plenty of video here, I'm just going to press play on this one. I took this on this camera, so on this phone. Zoom in with video, which doesn't exist on a lot of phones. Even the Galaxy S2, I don't think you can actually zoom in on video, but the quality was brilliant. This is really, really good video quality. Could not complain at all about it. And the camera just takes amazing shots, so very, very happy with the camera in this. I mean, there is word, and I do believe it, that it's the same camera in the iPhone 4S. So if you're an iPhone 4S owner, congratulations, you've got this camera. But you don't have all the Android apps. So the Android market, as standard, Gmail of course. Scrolling along, Music Unlimited. Now, I'm not a fan of Music Unlimited, and I'll get into that at the end of this review when I can actually look at you guys, because I don't use it. I use the music. This music app is brilliant. I just love the interface on this compared to other Android devices. Really happy with that. But Music Unlimited, not a huge fan of, and I'll explain why. Google Talk, awesome, because I can chat, but I can't video call. So, I think not having that front-facing camera really, hurts this device. In finishing up with it, just the standard sort of apps. Timescape, as I've shown you in that widget, you can see everything's integrated, and I love that. I think that's so cool, and you can sort of cycle through here on SMSs, tweets, Facebook, the whole lot. Really, really cool. Now that is really a rundown of the device. I do suggest you check out, again, the Xperia Arc review I did initially, because there is a lot more to see with this phone. Alright, so really, that's the unit. There is not a great deal more to say, except I did mention I was going to talk about Music Unlimited. Not a huge fan. It's about $5 a month to get access to it. You can't set it all up from your phone. Now I, generally try to avoid having to turn my laptop or PC on, but you do require almost all of the Music Unlimited work to be set up from a PC, web browser and things like that. It just doesn't do it on the phone. So it took a bit too long, and I just got frustrated with it, and I didn't have a good experience. I'm not a huge fan still of the music service. I'm more of a fan of a music store. Android will launch one. They've launched it in the US, Android Music, and it will come to Australia if you're watching from the US. Congratulations, you've already got it. But I think that's something that I'm not a huge fan of. But all in all, this is a really, really cool phone. I think not having the front-facing camera really hurts it compared to the other devices that are out there. I think the speed improvement is there. It is noticeable. Is it fast enough though? I'm not sure. It's not dual core. It's not dual core processor. It's hard to say. I think being their flagship phone, it needs to be better. I think we need to wait for a better unit to come from Sony Ericsson. I'm glad they made some hardware changes to it compared to the Arc, but I don't think it's enough. I think if they released this one when the Arc came out, it would have got a great review. But I think given the time that it's been and the time that we're in now, I think it's a little bit on the back foot. I do like it. I think it's a sexy phone. When I take this out of my pocket, people look. People love the look, they love the feel. The Arc is just amazing. The screen is a great size. I just think that it needs that extra boost in power just to get it across the line. I think it needs a little bit more. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I struggle sometimes with actually coming with a definitive yes I love it or no I don't love it answer, but it's a lot of horses for courses. Some people are going to love this phone and some people just aren't. Personally, in the same price bracket, I think you can buy better. It hurts to say it because I think it's a sexy phone, but looks only take you so far. It's like dating, guys. You know, if you're a guy or a girl, you know, looks only take you so far. You can only stare at something for so long before you get bored of it, and you know, you need a bit more than that. You need what's on the inside that counts, and I think this needs a little bit more on the inside, a little bit more love. Sounding way too emotional. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll speak to you soon.